Coming up on today's Bengals report, two rookies are making serious noise at training camp, and both could be key pieces in the 2025 season. We're talking about two fresh faces from this year's NFL draft who are already turning heads in Cincinnati. First up, Dylan Fairchild. The Bengals grabbed him in the third round out of Georgia. And honestly, this might be one of the biggest steals of the draft. Fairchild's power and technique on the offensive line have impressed coaches and teammates alike. Even Zach Taylor admitted he didn't think Fairchild would still be on the board when they picked. If he keeps up this level of play, he could become a cornerstone for the O-line much sooner than expected. Before we dive into the next breakout rookie and the latest camp buzz, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and ring the bell icon so you never miss a Bengals update. Now, let's get back to the action. Next, Taj Brooks, the sixth round pick out of Texas Tech. If you caught the preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles, you saw him in action. Decisive cuts, great vision, and a fearless running style. And here's the thing, that was without the full starting offensive line in front of him. Imagine what he could do running behind the Bengals' first-string blockers. He's already looking like he could be a valuable change of pace weapon in this offense. So here's the question for you. Which rookie are you most excited to watch this season? Drop DF for Dylan Fairchild or TB for Taj Brooks in the comments below. I'm curious to see where Bengals Nation stands. Dylan Fairchild's first impression in Cincinnati has been nothing short of eye-catching. Drafted 81st overall in the third round, some analysts felt that was higher than expected. But the Bengals clearly saw something others didn't, and early signs suggest they might have been right. Fairchild battled through injuries in his final year at Georgia, which limited his snaps and inflated a few negative stats. But when healthy, he showed the strength, balance, and football IQ that fit perfectly into what this Bengals offensive line is trying to become. That potential was on display in the preseason opener against the Eagles. Just 16 snaps, yet 0 sacks allowed, 0 hits, 0 pressures, and no penalties. Add to that an 89.5 puff grade, and you've got a rookie making a strong statement right out of the gate. Sure, it's a small sample size, but it's the kind of discipline, technically sound performance you want from a young lineman. The Bengals have been hungry for reliable protection up front, and if Fairchild can bring that same consistency against starters, he could lock down a spot for years to come. There's also something to be said about where he comes from. Georgia's program produces NFL-ready talent. Players from powerhouse schools arrive already battle-tested, accustomed to elite coaching, and steeped in a winning culture. Fairchild carries that pedigree with him to Cincinnati, and it shows in the way he approaches the game, professional, tough, and unafraid of the moment. So here's the question. How confident are you in Dylan Fairchild becoming a long-term answer for the Bengals offensive line? Drop your number from 1 to 10 in the comments. Dylan Fairchild isn't just adding depth. He's bringing a hard-nosed, relentless edge to this Bengals offensive line. That Georgia Bulldog mentality, the toughness, the refusal to back down, it's exactly what you want in front of Joe Burrow. Protecting one of the NFL's elite quarterbacks isn't just a task. It's a responsibility, and Fairchild looks ready to take it on. His physical style and competitive fire could be a defining piece of this offense in 2025. Now, let's shift the spotlight to another rookie who's quietly building his own buzz, Taj Brooks. Unlike Fairchild, who went earlier in the draft, Brooks was picked late, 193rd overall, but his talent screams much higher than that. Many analysts had him graded as a mid-round prospect, and seeing him still on the board that late was a surprise. The Bengals pounced, and it could end up being one of the hidden gems of their draft class. Brooks brings a combination of vision, patience, and burst that's hard to teach. In the limited snaps we've seen so far, he's shown the ability to create yards even when the blocking isn't perfect, a valuable trait in today's NFL. If he continues to develop and adjust quickly to the speed of the league, the Bengals may have found a change of pace back who can keep defenses guessing. Taj Brooks' college resume tells the story of a consistent, durable, and highly productive back. Early in his career, his numbers were solid, but by his later seasons he exploded, posting back-to-back years of over 1,500 rushing yards. In 2021, he averaged more than 6 yards per carry, followed by a still strong 4.7 in 2022, and then maintained an impressive 5.30 over those final two dominant campaigns. That level of sustained production, especially in a Power 5 conference, is no accident. What makes Brooks intriguing for Cincinnati is that he's not a one-dimensional runner. While he won't be mistaken for a pure receiving back, he's more than capable of catching passes out of the backfield. And with Joe Burrow's quick release style, that skill could become a quiet weapon in this offense. A simple check down to Brooks can turn into a chunk play because of his vision, balance, and ability to slip through arm tackles. If he can translate that college efficiency to the NFL and adapt quickly to pro defenses, Brooks has the potential to be a reliable contributor, not just a rotational option, but someone who can tilt a drive in the Bengals' favor when it matters most. Zac Taylor wasn't just impressed with Dylan Fairchild falling into the Bengals' lap. He felt the same way about Taj Brooks. After the draft, Taylor praised Brooks' toughness, lateral quickness, ball security, and ability to pass protect. Running backs coach Justin Hill had been familiar with Brooks for years, and both the coaching staff and scouts viewed him as one of their favorite prospects in this class. For him to still be available in the 6th round, that was a gift Cincinnati didn't expect. His preseason debut against the Eagles might not wow you on paper, 10 carries for 26 yards, but the box score doesn't tell the full story. Brooks was running behind second and third string offensive linemen, yet managed 24 of those 26 yards after contact. That's the kind of stat that speaks to a runner's grit and determination. His physical style and run-through-you mentality stood out, even in limited snaps. If Brooks gets the chance to run behind the Bengals' starting offensive line, the ceiling is much higher. In fact, he could make a real push for the number 2 running back spot over Samaje Perine. Over his 8-year career, Perine has only topped 300 rushing yards in 3 seasons. Brooks has the tools, energy, and hunger to change that depth chart sooner rather than later. It's worth noting that even in Samaje Perine's 3 best years, one of them barely cleared 300 rushing yards, and he's only had a single season over 500. That's why Taj Brooks is such an intriguing option. Put him behind Cincinnati's starting offensive line, and there's a legitimate chance he pushes his way into the RB2 spot before the season is over. The key to making that leap? Pass protection. The Bengals can't risk exposing Joe Burrow to extra hits, not with the investment they've made in him. At Texas Tech, Brooks logged 324 pass blocking reps over 5 years and allowed just 2 sacks. That's promising, but he did surrender his share of pressures, so cleaning up that area will be crucial. Still, Zac Taylor and the coaching staff believe he can hold his own in blitz pickup. If Brooks proves them right, his combination of vision, power, and toughness could make him too valuable to keep on the sideline. For a player drafted in the 6th round, that's the kind of upside that feels like highway robbery. And it's exactly the type of move that can strengthen a roster for both the present and future.